We have a lot of awesome Lions from across Wisconsin and Minnesota, Kentucky joining us tonight, and excited to see you all. This is it, you guys. You guys have been hearing about this for a couple of weeks here. We are finally here, and we're so excited to have each and every one of you here because we know when you leave here, you're going to be fired up and have a better idea of how to grow Lionism by starting Lions clubs. And this growth workshop series is going to really, we hope, turn the corner for us in how we look at growth and how we look at Lionism and what our jobs are. You know, Melvin Jones told the delegates at the first Lions International Convention, there's only one thing greater than being a member of a Lions Club, and that's helping build one. He built this culture of growth, one where every Lion knew that by inviting someone else, they were doubling their service. And by starting new clubs, they could change communities today and for all times. The sad part of that is we've lost our way here in the United States. We've forgotten about this. We hit or miss start clubs in most of our districts. Some, by the way, are superstars, don't get me wrong. But by far the majority have forgotten how to start a Lions Club. They've forgotten how to ask people to join and spread the joy of being a Lion. And we're hoping that all starts to stop tonight, because we're going to rebuild that culture of growth through these workshops, this whole series of growth workshops and beyond. There'll be more information about the and beyond later. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lion Jody Burmester. I do come from the beautiful, wonderful, great state of Wisconsin, and I'm really honored to be able to hang out with you and be part of your journey as you learn more about firing up to grow Lionism. You guys are the first humans to go through this workshop. We started this workshop last fall, and we did a live one in Texas, and then we did a virtual one in California. And we've adapted and adjusted based on all the feedback we got and all the great and exciting things that have been happening. This is a 3-session series in this workshop that's going to happen over the next 6 weeks. You can feel free to bring other people in. They can jump in, they can jump out, so that if you've got more people, don't be worried about inviting them. But if this workshop goes well, by the time we're done, your districts should be well on your way to starting a new club. Because this is not about us just being talking heads and talking to you. It's about interacting between all of us, understanding what we're trying to get done, and having you actually do the work as we work through the process. So, as I mentioned, you're the first humans, the first Lions to go through this. So I'm going to ask for your patience, because here's the deal. We've spent a lot of time planning and testing, and I already mentioned that we worked with Texas and California to kind of test the system here. And we know it works. We had almost 35 clubs started out of those 2 efforts between last November with Texas and then last spring and early into this year with California. We spent a lot of time adjusting and adapting the curriculum, but we know there's going to be some hiccups. First of all, I'm running my own tech, and for those of you who know me, that's sometimes that is going to happen. But we're all learning here together, and it's going to take all of us together to really turn this around and become a culture of growth and create this culture of growth like Melvin Jones had back in the beginning, where every member is focused on growing Lions and getting us going. So with that brief introduction, I am going to go back to where I was, since I hopefully can share my screen again. And I'm going to show you something pretty cool. I'm going to get you fired up in a way there's no way I can do it. I'm going to put the head guy, the guy that gets all of us on our toes, jumping and dancing, singing to Penguin songs and whatever it is. I'm going to give you a video from our own past president, Brian Sheehan. Brian has been integral in this process. He is the guy that is behind it all. And he wanted to share his message of getting fired up with all of you. So let's see if I can make this work for you. Here we go.
Hi there, I'm Lion Brian here. I am so excited for these new club development workshops. Thank you so much for being here. What you are about to do is going to be the key to reaching our goals of Mission 1.5. And as you know,
That is about growing our organization to 1.5 million members, and that is going to help us to serve more than 1 billion people each and every year. Now, the 1 billion people served is going to be easier one if we just get every club to report the awesome things that they do. The 1.5 million is something we've been trying to achieve for the last few decades. 1.5, mission 1.5 is not mission impossible. It is mission possible. That's what it is. And it's going to happen because of you, your passion, your love of this organization. You know and see what we all do for others. So we need you like never before. We are going to be doing something that we have never done before. And again, I say thank you to you for caring so much about this organization. This is going to be a great team. This organization is all about we serve. Spreading Lionism to others is the #1 service of Lions. That's what we do. Let me say that again. Our primary objective in Lions is spreading Lionisms to others. That is the #1 surface of Lions and what we do for others. We need to share the joy of being a lion to others. Each and every lion and Leo's goal is to spread Lionism. That's what we need to do. That will get us to our goals, and that will make our communities and this world a better place. So let's do that in a big way. Let's do that by creating a culture of growth. That's what we want to do. For this organization, by starting up new clubs, yes, we also have to work on rebuilding other clubs. We have to work with new members and striving to have better retention. But the best and most efficient way we can make an impact is starting up clubs. As our great founder, Melvin Jones, had said, there's only one thing greater than being a member of a Lions Club, and that's helping to build one. And that's what we're going to do here and now. Historically, over the last few decades, we have not been good at starting up new clubs. This is where our larger growth is going to come from. And this is the area that will bring us into positive growth. That is a fact based on what our history has shown us. This is your call to action. Firing up new clubs. Now is the time to act. Whether it's starting a club in a small town, an underserved community, or a niche group, the opportunity to make a difference is right now. Encourage enthusiasm, commitment, and passion for service. Starting a new club brings energy and starts the culture of positive change for Lions International. No one way to start, but we must start now. There's no single blueprint for starting a Lions Club. Every club can be born from different approaches. You might gather friends and neighbors, rally co-workers, and engage through social media. The key is to just start. We must have our own way of doing things. What matters is that we take action. Just as a fire spreads in different directions, we need to take different routes to bring Lions Clubs into new communities. Some clubs might focus on membership. Others might emphasize volunteerism, and still others may be driven by advocacy. Whatever the approach, every step moves us closer to achieving our mission. We're going to hit some obstacles, but we are Lions. We know that challenges are opportunities in disguise. Whether it's finding new members, securing sponsorship, or building awareness, we can overcome these hurdles by drawing on the support and resources of Lions Clubs International. Bring the energy. A great ball of fire movement. This is a movement to ignite something powerful. With every new Lions Club we create, we're lighting a fire of service that's going to spread, grow, and impact lives for generations to come. Starting a new club is like lighting a match. It begins small, but with the right fuel, it becomes something unstoppable. Imagine the energy and excitement when new members come together, driven by a shared purpose and fired up to make a difference. This is our great balls of fire moment. Let's bring that enthusiasm. Let's bring. Yes, I'm so excited I can hardly say it. We need to bring the enthusiasm and let it spread like wildfire across our communities, creating new Lions Clubs that's going to keep that fire burning bright for years to come. We each hold a spark, and together we create a firestorm of change. Lions, let's ignite that passion, fuel it with purpose, turn it into action. Great balls of fire. Let's get out there and make a difference by starting new clubs, growing our family, and blazing a trail of service across the world. Let's turn up the heat and show the world what Lions are made of. We be that. That's what we do. And that is a fact, Jack. So let's all get excited about this. Thank you for caring and having the passion to be able to do that.
If that doesn't fire you up, I don't even have any idea what's going to. Because here's the deal. Brian Sheehan is spot on. If we're going to create, Lions is our number one service. Or, God, it's been a day, guys. Spreading Lionism is our number one service. More members equal more service, period, end of story. There's nothing else. And what Mission 1.5 is really all about is growing clubs so they can better meet the needs of their community. That means adding members to existing clubs. We know we need more members in our current clubs, but that also means adding new clubs to communities that are underserved by their current Lions Club. And that means adding clubs to communities without a Lions Club. To do that, we have to inspire every Lion to help grow their own club by inviting people to join the fun. Hopefully it's fun. If it's not, we got to make it so. And we have to encourage every Lion to be on the lookout for opportunities to start clubs in areas that desperately need our service. You are the spark to the flame that past President Brian was talking about. So let's get started on lighting that fire by talking about where we go from here and how we get the job done. Let's start with your targets. Each district governor team and GAT team together have different target goals for this year. And I believe, and I apologize, Kentucky right now, I believe you guys are up to 5 or 6 now as your target you've adjusted your goal to. But Wisconsin this year has committed to having 10 new Lions clubs. That's 1 club per each district. Kentucky has 2 districts and they have committed to 5 or 6 Lions clubs that they're working on. All of that is going to end up with a net game of Lions of almost 100 Lions in Wisconsin and 115 in Kentucky. This workshop is designed to help you get there. You have your targets, you know what you want to do, but we're here to help give you the tools and resources to get there. But I can talk all day long, and it's not going to make a hill of beans of difference if you and your growth team don't take what you learned here and put the work in to get the job done. Go from talk, which we do a lot of, to action. Because once you start taking that step beyond the talk to the action, magic starts to happen. The fire starts to spread, and the joy of being a Lion starts to spread. Let's take a look at the agendas for the 3 sessions. And so you have a better understanding of what we're doing and what we're doing tonight specifically. So tonight is session 1. Tonight we're focused on mission to grow and why. We just heard from Brian. We've just talked about your targets. As soon as we're done with going through this agenda, we're going to go through some of the resources, club types and formats. It's important if we're going to grow Lions, we understand what the options are when it comes to setting up clubs. We're going to summarize developing your team. Many of you are beyond this. You've been working for months to develop your growth team. Some of you have expanded it greatly since we had the fire up session just last week or the week before. We're going to talk about identifying areas of opportunity, site research, and then key to these sessions are sharing stories of inspiration, success stories from Lions across the U.S. about how they made all of this work. That's tonight. 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to focus on everything to do with promotion and recruitment. How do you promote the new club? How do you invite a new generation? We're going to share specific recruitment models from successful recruiters across the US. We're going to talk about recruiting tips and tricks. And then really exciting, we've got 3 of our top recruiters in the US from last year and the last couple of years who are going to come and share their tips and tricks. And then we're going to open up the floor for your questions. So come prepared for that. Session 3, we're going to cover some of the nuts and bolts of all of this. And that's the informational meetings, the organizational meeting, how you put an application together, when it's approved, how it's approved. Talk a little bit about charter night planning. And then we're going to close out with another series of success stories. All of these, as Brian said, come from a slightly different angle because we all have different ways of doing things. So we want to provide you with as many options and ideas and resources and inspirations as we can to help you find what's going to work for you. That's going to get you fired up to be that spark and start building Lions clubs and growing membership. Another quick piece here, because we're going into resources now. One of the most important resources we have is human resources. We have set up a whole series and a whole group of humans who are here to help support you, the district teams, and the individuals on your growth teams as you work to build this culture of success and culture of growth. We know from years past that the workshops where we come in and we train everyone up and we walk away isn't enough. So we've created this whole team of support for you all. It includes your GAT team. They're there to help provide you the resources and be the conduit to keep things going and keep you focused on what you need to do to reach your goals. You have a facilitator in this session, and that's me and a couple of the other facilitators who are here to support you as you work through this process and beyond. You have mentors in your own multiple district who are experienced recruiters and club starters who are there to support you. You have an even larger pool that we've decided to call Champions of Growth. These are Lions from outside of your multiple district who have a lot of experience and have volunteered to be a support and resource and inspiration for you, your multiple district GAT teams, and your district growth teams. And perhaps one of the most key pieces of this, to keep this going, to truly build the culture, is our GAT area and vice area leaders and all of our GAT leaders. They are constant. They are support that's going to keep the ball rolling by providing an open discussion and idea sharing at your regular meetings and throughout time. That's really going to bring this culture of growth to reality. All of us are focused on progress and accountability. And I mean by all of us, I don't just mean your support team. I mean all of us and all of you. If you're putting all the work in and you're not getting there, you need to reach out for help. We all need to be accountable to reach the goals that our teams have set and to grow our association. With that, we're beyond the people. We've got human resources for you, but oh my God, do we have resources? We have resources from Lions Clubs International. On the screen right now, you see a QR code, which you can take your camera and take a picture of. I'm also going to share this with you in the link to this in the chat right now, because we're going over to the Start a Club resource page on Lions Clubs International. And the reason we're going over to there is because it's truly going to be your main area. I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing again here, because I'm going to share a internet page with you now. Lions Clubs International has a very extensive web page. There are so many resources that sometimes hard to find what you're looking for. Well, this is the page for you. I'm going to tell you, if you save nothing else tonight or bookmark nothing else on your browser, this is the page for you. This is a Start a New Club page. It has a multitude of resources for you as a growth team member as you look to start clubs. It has it's got a link to the Lions Clubs and membership types. It's got a Start a Leo Club area, how to start a branch club, order materials and applications, and an area on membership grants. And we're going to come back to grants here in a second, but I want to show you what else is here. There's a whole area on how to start a new club and the tools and resources that Tracy and her team have put together to help us get the job done. There's workshop tools. There's a new club development community assessment, an informational night PowerPoint that you can start with as you're working towards your information night. You can do your own club development workshop, how an organizational meeting should look, how a branch club could look with a PowerPoint and put it together, and a charter night planning guide. But I think the area that I've heard that people get the most bang for their buck is this. A lot of us have never started a club or haven't done it in so long that the process has changed radically. There is a whole section here about application documents, how to start a club. Here's a checklist, an application worksheet for you, and the applications, the charter membership dues and fees, how to report your charter members worksheet, a transfer form, a branch conversion form, all in one simple spot for you to find it as you're working through the process of starting clubs and working with Lions who want to make a difference. There's recruiting tools on this page as well. We're going to hear a lot about the new Hello brochure as we're going through this, because that is, in my opinion, and the opinion of all the recruiters I work with, I've been interviewing for this series, the #1 resource for you as you're looking to start a club is the new Hello brochure. And it's, I don't know if we can still call it new, Tracy, but we're going to keep calling it new for now. Let me drop that into the chat for you so you can see what I'm talking about here. Here you go. Oops. Apparently, first off, let's give you the Start a Club webpage, and then here you go with the Hello brochure, should be coming up now. So all of that is there along with the awards that you can gather and earn for chartering clubs. An amazing resource. You simply get to it by going to lionsclubs.org and searching on Start a Club, or the link I shared with you in the chat. But I want to go back here for a moment for you with membership grants. Membership grants are a fantastic resource that we are underutilizing in the United States. Tracy and her team have put together an amazing resource for us here under the membership development grant page that covers everything from the budget template to action plan template to progress reports, expense claims, mileage claims, and then the final report template, along with grant criteria and frequently asked questions, and then being able to apply for it. Here's the deal. These grant dollars are there to help you be able to get the job done in growing Lionism. If you and your team at the multiple district and district level aren't taking a look at these, you're missing the boat. It's money that we need to help spread Lionism. Now, you may not be ready to do it right now because we're on the front end of this. We get that. But if you have it together and you know you want to put a grant in, get the grant in now, because it's first come, first serve, and when the money's gone, the money's gone. But I'll tell you right now that you should start planning for next year. As you're building out what you're doing and get a better understanding of a feel for what your communities need and what message you need to share, make sure that you're adding into your planning at the multiple district level and or district level to put together a membership development grant. Now, membership development grants can, in a multiple district situation, you either can apply for a district grant or a multiple district grant. You cannot cross over and have both active at the same time, a multiple district grant and a district grant. We could do a whole session on grants. We don't have time for it tonight. If you're interested in grants, make sure that you go down to the bottom of this page. Tracy, I don't see, Tracy, could you drop the email address in? I think it's just membership@lionsclubs.org, but if you could drop the email address in to make sure that they've got that to reach out if they have questions, that would be great. Cool. All right. With that, let us go back to talking about the other pieces. All right. On that sheet,
Jody,
yes,
specialty club money.
we're going to talk about specialty clubs in a minute.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about that quick as a grant while I'm resharing, getting ready to share the screen?
That would be awesome. On the
Go for it.
specialty club page, I will go ahead and add the link into the chat, but you can get up to $750 to do a workshop to teach land leaders in your district and multiple district about specialty clubs. And you cannot do training with a membership development grant, but you can do training with a specialty club grant. And if you do that specialty club training and you have enough time to also do new club development training at the same time, and that as long as you're talking about specialty clubs, the money counts. So keep that in mind and check out the webpage.
Awesome. Thank you, Tracy. There are grants available. Use them to make a difference in your own area. Appreciate that so much. All right. So we had the QR code to get to that page, the new club start, how to start a club page. Let's talk about ordering materials. You can order the hello material, you can order the hello brochures, you can order any number of materials by either using this QR code or on that link on that page, it said order materials, click on that. I dropped the link into the chat for you as well. Please take advantage of this. Use the materials that you get to advance Lionism and to help build clubs. So you have resources. You have human resources, and you have a ton of resources available on the Lions Clubs International website. Use them to make a difference. With that, we're going to switch gears and we're going to start talking about types of clubs. It is imperative as we are out talking to people and hearing what their needs are that we have a understanding of what's available and how to make the best process or the best setup possible for a new Lions Club. So there's 3 club types. Some of them you may be familiar with, some of them you may not. Those 3 types are the traditional club, a campus club, or a Leo Lion Club. Above and beyond those 3 main club types, there's formats. The formats that a club can take are a branch club, a virtual club, or a specialty club. These 6 pieces work together in wind in and out, depending on what it is a group of volunteers wants. So for example, a traditional club or there could be a traditional club that meets virtually. It's a specialty club that's a virtual club, or a branch specialty club, or a Leo Lion Club that's a virtual club, or a specialty club. They all wind in and out of each other. And the reason there's so many options here is because there's so many different ways to serve. People want to serve and want to serve in the way that they want to serve. So LCI has created a whole series of different club types and formats to help meet the needs of every human that wants to take part in being a Lions Club. We're going to go through each one of these types of clubs in order that you better understand. Again, I'm going to remind you, go ahead and take screenshots, do what you want, but you are going to get the slide deck at the end of all of this. So you have the full slide deck, not necessarily that you'll be able to use, and you'll be able to use the images for whatever you need to do. So go ahead and do what you need with it. Let's start with our traditional clubs. These are definitely our most common type of club, and they offer people a chance to give back in their community. We're all familiar with those. We've been around the block. Our job here is to enhance the ability of Lions to assist the people who need the help, and to introduce new projects in these communities to help meet those needs. To start a traditional club, you have to have 20 members in that club. They can be new to Lionism, or they can be transferring from another club. There are no dues, discounts, or entrance charter fee waivers at this time for a traditional Lions Club. So it's this whatever dues you have in your local district, your multiple district, and the international dues apply, along with the $35 entrance fee. And then add on to that whatever the club decides their dues are. Tracy, you're spot on. Your club, your way. So traditional clubs we're all pretty much familiar with, I would have to guess. But campus clubs are a little bit different. Some of us have worked with campus clubs in the past. Some of us haven't looked at them ever and haven't looked at them for a long time. So these clubs are designed to be able to allow students, people who are in school, to be able to create a club that serves from the campus. It allows them to serve locally and globally. A lot of these younger generation want to make a global network and work in other parts of the world. It allows them to build their resume. It allows them to network and connect with local Lion leaders and local leaders in general, and also international organizations that they might partner with. It gives them hands-on opportunities to plan service, advocate for humanitarian and environmental causes, or whatever it is that they want to do. As you're looking at the options for a campus club, at least 5 of the 20 charter members must be student members. And I'm going to highlight that again. 5 of the charter members must be student members. What that means is that it doesn't just have to be students involved in a campus club. There are hundreds and in some cases thousands of employees, depending on the size of the campus, that are also available to join these campus clubs. But you have to have, when you charter, at least 5 of them must be student members, active student members on that campus. The other piece, yes, alumni, Richard, another great point. The other piece of that is charter student members have to prepay 50% of their first year of dues to Lions Clubs International. How you handle your local dues is how you choose to handle them, your club and district, your way. But they must prepay 50% of their first year dues to Lions Clubs International. It helps when they have some skin in the game. Campus clubs are highly underutilized right now in the United States. We have a number of them. They're hard to keep going because kids come and go. So it takes a very strong mentor, guiding lion that stays with them at all times to help them and keep them on track and keep them moving forward. So campus clubs are definitely an option. I want to talk just for a moment about student dues discounts because this is a little bit different. It's part of what we just talked about, but something more. So a student member is a verified student who is either less than or equal to 30 years of age. And they can be a member in any club. I'm going to say that again. They can be a member in any club as long as they are an active student in a college or university in their area or wherever. If they are a verified student, they can have their charter and entrance fees waived, and they pay 50% Lions Clubs International dues. So these student members can either feed into a campus club or they can feed into any other Lions Club that's out there, whether it be a Leo Lion Club or a Omega Leo Club or a traditional Lions Club. If you have verified students that are 30 plus joining a campus club, they pay a $10 entrance fee and full international dues. So I know it's a little confusing. I will suggest that you go to the Campus Lions Club page on LCI's website. And I'm going to drop it in the chat here right now to learn more about it and find out more about campus clubs. If you have a community college, a university, or a college of any sort in your community, this could be the place for you to start a club. All right. Speaking of underutilized in the United States, let's talk about a Leo Lion Club. A Leo Lion Club is a club made up of humans that are less than 36 years of age. Usually between the ages of 18 and 36, I believe, but we'll go with less than 36 years of age. A minimum of 10 of the chartering members have to either be a current or former Leo for a year and a day. These Leo Lion Clubs are an opportunity for us to give our younger potential lions a voice, Leo Lions, a voice in a place where they can serve the way they want to serve. It is a great opportunity for us as districts to expand our reach when we're struggling to get younger people to think our current clubs are an option, or they aren't ready yet to form a full-blown younger human Lions Club. A Leo Lion is both a club type and a membership type. So just like that student member we talked about before, a Leo Lion can serve in any of our club types. So they can be a traditional club, a branch club, a virtual club, a specialty club, whatever it is. As Leo Lions, their service is credited to their Lion record, and there's other benefits as well. Especially they love that there's a professional LinkedIn networking group just for them. They also see a dues waive, special dues of a 50% discount on international dues, and their entrances and charter fees are waived as well. So very similar to student member as far as the dues go, but it takes it off of the college campus potentially. Leo Lions may be part of a college campus club, but they also can be part of their own club or your club as well. So a Leo Lion Club is underutilized. I challenge all of you to take a look at this one as well to see if there's ways for you to reach out to a younger generation to create these Leo Lions clubs that then will feed into our larger, more experienced clubs. I just dropped into the chat the link for the Leo Lions clubs from Lions Clubs International. All right, let's switch on from club types. to club formats. Branch clubs. Branch clubs have been around for a while. And branch clubs have been, I think, people have been confused about what they are. At its simplest, a branch club is a subset of the parent club. So whoever the parent club is, the sponsoring club, has a subset of them that meet separately and work together in this club called a branch club. A branch club is made up of at least 5 new Lions or 5 existing members of another Lions club, parent club or not, that come together to form a club, a branch club. Key to this is the existing Lions club, the parent club, has to be willing to engage these Lions as a branch. That means they have to be willing to support them and take them in as a subset of their own club. Because the reality is the parent club has a liaison that serves between the parent club and the branch club. And the branch club has representation on the board of directors of the parent club as well to keep that communication open. There's paperwork that needs to be filled out to start a branch club, and notification needs to be sent to your district governor so that they're aware they're a branch club. Because you're going to add these members to your own club. The parent club adds these new members to their club as a branch. Other key points are that the branch club can work as a branch club for as long as they want. Technically, they can charter as their own club as soon as they hit 20 members. But if they get to 50, 60, 70 members and the relationship between the parent and the branch are still going well, there's no reason they can't stay in that same format as long as they would like. There are no dues discounts, entrance fee, or entrance or charter fee waivers for these clubs. They pay the same dues that the parent club members pay, and which includes the club dues, the international district, and multiple district dues. So that is the branch format of what a branch club looks like. Virtual and hybrid clubs really, really got going during COVID, and the virtual clubs did. And all of our clubs were virtual for a while if we're meeting at all. And I think you're all on Zoom right now, so you've probably been to a virtual club meeting or a virtual meeting of some part of our organization. We meet via Zoom or some other multifunctional communication platform, but the virtual clubs allow the flexibility of people who don't have the time or interest in driving to a meeting, sitting in a meeting, eating and coming back. It allows that flexibility for people who are not meeting people. They have limited time for meetings. Maybe it's a geography thing. They can't drive that far. Maybe they have mobility issues, whatever it might be. But it allows a flexible option for clubs to meet their own way and get the job done of serving their communities. They have the same chartering policies and procedures as apply to our traditional clubs. Nothing different with that. And again, no dues discounts or entrance charter fee waivers in this case. I added hybrid to this because a lot of our clubs right now are doing the hybrid option. And it seems to be a sweet spot for some of our clubs where they have people that want to meet in person and people that want to just jump on a call and jump into the meeting electronically or virtually. It's a little tricky if you don't really have the technology or know how to make it work, but I tell you, those clubs that are offering the hybrid format are on fire with a lot of their service. So if you take a look at that as you're looking at building clubs as to whether it should be a hybrid club where it's some meetings in person and part of them are meeting virtually. All right, specialty clubs. Specialty clubs are the fastest growing portion of Lions clubs right now at Club Extension here in the United States. These are clubs that are built on common interest, whether it's cultural, skills, whatever it might be. They share these interests and they want to make a difference together, sharing their talents. They have the same club chartering policies and procedures that apply to traditional clubs. And again, no discounted dues or entrance fees are there. But the cool thing about charter clubs is, or I'm sorry, specialty clubs, is that it fires people up to start thinking differently about how we might serve as Lions. And I'm going to show you a slide here that talks about some of the different types of specialty clubs that are out there. There can be cultural clubs that are made up of people from a similar cultural background. Based on life stage, a early retirees club. Cause-based, if you want to be a diabetes club, or if you want to be a children's vision screening club. A professional or education club, sport or hobby club. The options and the ideas are unlimited. And I was trying to figure out a way we could kind of get a conversation going on a Zoom call where we're all muted except for me. And what I thought about was this. We're going to have a 2-minute opportunity. It's going to be a speed sharing opportunity, if you will, to drop into the chat as many types of potential specialty clubs as you can think of. I've actually got my phone set for a 2-minute timer, give you 2 minutes to drop them into the chat. And I'm going to shout out and some of those as we're talking. But here's the power of this. After we're done with all of this, we're going to take this chat, we're going to download it, and we're going to compile it all into a whole list of potential specialty clubs that you can use in your districts to help fire people up to think outside of the box. Heck, throw the box away and look at Lionism and growing Lionism in a different way. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I can't see any of you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give you all a chance to start dropping into the chat any ideas you might have for a specialty club. Here we go. Snowmobiling, ATV, Hmong. Oops, I better hit start. Veterans Club. I wanted to highlight that at the USA. Well, you keep typing. I'm going to keep talking. At the USA Canada Forum, I met a wonderful lion, an amazing lion who is a disabled veteran that started a club and has started working to help other disabled veterans through that. What a great opportunity. We have disabled veterans in all of our areas, quilters, home brewing, fire department, police department, social workers, car club, recycling club, biking club, baseball, love it, Spanish, a Hispanic club. Going back, come on, guys, what about, let's see what else we got. I'm scrolling back through. Street Angels, fishing groups, blind baseball, tied around that. Woodworking, county fair, artists, makers. There's an art club, car repair club. That's a great idea, Ed, at Hollander. There's a specialty club in Arizona, as a matter of fact, that's made up of artists. And their service is to raise funds for our international foundation by sharing their art and selling their art. Skating, gun safety, fish and game. Yeah, large insurance company. Let's talk about that. You can be looking at specialty clubs inside of large companies in your area. A video game company, a club, a beekeeping club. Scrolling through here, all of these. Church-based. We can talk about that on a separate spot. Clubs that support other organizations. We're going to talk about those in a minute. Public workers, campus clubs. When you're looking at the professionals at the campus, on the campus. Maybe you're looking at a nurses club that wants to go out and do diabetes screening on the side. A special needs club. Have you heard of Champions Clubs for our Special Olympians? An amazing specialty club program. A hiking club. What about a get to know you club? What about you become the community welcome wagon? Lego club. Oh, I love that. Let's hit stop and get rid of that noise, but that was 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, I don't even know how many came across there. That was 2 minutes on the fly when I just threw it at you. Think about that when you're working with your team on what you might look at it as potential. Gamers Club, Engineers Club, all kinds of things. Specialty clubs are an opportunity for us to take a look at Lionism from a different standpoint. Instead of trying to be everything to everybody, we narrow our focus to a specific group and let them serve and make the difference in the way they want to and how they can and have that impact. A cigar club. There's a cigar club in Reno that does a fantastic job. So many different options. I've got a couple more things I want to share with you before we, as far as types of clubs for you to take a look at and maybe inspire you in other ways that you might find to find a new club and put a new club in place. There's something called the Join Together program, and it's been in place for a while, and it was used a lot when we were transitioning Lioness clubs to Lions clubs. And what the Join Together program is basically a partnership program that allows 501c3 organizations to become a Lions club or a branch club. Key to that is it is an existing organization that is a 501c3. There is a lot of rules when it comes to setting up one of these Join Together clubs. We are reaching out and helping basically other organizations, other charitable organizations that are recognized by the IRS as charitable organizations to allow them to expand their service impact as a Lions Club. A couple of things to take note of. Part of the filing paperwork includes things such as the entity that's looking to join together has to provide proof of their tax return filings and be in good standing with the IRS or the government, as you would, as I guess we could say. They also have to recognize that LCI and the club are not responsible for any past, present, or future liabilities based on who the organization is before they become a Lions Club. The way this works is this. When you do a join together club, and our success story, our inspiration tonight is going to talk a little bit about how to start a join together club, and that's going on right now, but there is a charter fee of $300 that covers the entrance fee for all members that join as charter members. That being said, every charter member still pays full price LCI dues, full price multiple district and district dues, unless you have a separate program in place, and is required to be certified in the portal by our staff and the membership committee of the board of directors of Lions Clubs International. This is a great opportunity to reach out to some other organizations that are 501c3s and have them join us. Many times our insurance and the insurance they get by being a Lions Club is the big push for this. But there's rules. So you'll learn more about how to get this started and how it's working in one community in Minnesota in a couple of minutes here. But it's a great opportunity if you've got other organizations that are out there as 501c3s that could use a strong volunteer presence and could use the insurance and could be awesome Lions to bring a new perspective to our organization.
Jody, another great thing about being a joint together club that nobody thinks of is if they become a Lions Club and do the joint together, they then have access to apply for LCIF grants. They cannot
Yes.
apply for LCIF grants if they are not part of Lions Club, but once they join us, they can. So if they have a cause they're working for, this is another way to get money for their cause.
Tracy, that is fantastic. And that is very much a key selling point as well. So thank you for adding that in. That's perfect. So you get potential grant money and no guarantees you're going to get it, but you do have the ability to apply for it. And the insurance is available for what our insurance covers. So it's a great opportunity for a quick hit potentially to start a Lions Club that will be amazing going forward. Let's talk about the Cub program. Now, the Cub program is basically a program from Lions International that's free, and it's designed to help get kids 12 and younger out volunteering. And the kids can be either related to a Lion or just a kid from the community that wants to come in and their family wants them to get involved in volunteering. I'm bringing this program up to you, and I'll go over some more of the details here in a second, because this is a great opportunity to create a family club. Many of our communities could use a family club, one where the parents and the kids can volunteer together. And this Cub program is designed specifically to help make that happen. It's pretty easy to put in place. You need to have 5 Cubs to start a Cub club. Your club needs to have someone they call a Cub program contact, and that Cub program contact guides the meetings and the service projects of the Cubs. They're basically the guiding lion of the Cub club. You have to have the minimum of 5 Cubs to start a club. You have to add the Cub program contact. Wow, that's easy for me to say. Anyways, you have to add them to the portal to make sure that Lions International is aware of who they are. Because that human in your Lions Club, that Cub program contact, can then order up to 30 Cub Club patches a year for the kids to be able to put on their shirts, on their jackets, on their vest, whatever it is you give them to make them part of your club. Now, you do not have to be an official Cub Club to have a Cub program. If you just want to bring kids in and have them be part of your program and call or club and a family club and call it a Cub club, go for it. Use the Cub Club and the concept of family membership and working together as a family to volunteer and make a difference to help propel Lionism and provide more opportunities for people who may not be looking to do anything at this point because they're too busy with their kids. Here's a great chance for you to be able to give them a chance to volunteer together as a family. I am dropping the webpage. I put the email address for membership@lionsclubs.org if you're looking to order and request patches or more information. But I just dropped into the chat the Cub Club link. So that's there for you as well. Those are the programs and the types of clubs that we've got to share with you tonight. But before we switch gears again, I want to do one more thing. Every single one of these pieces ties into dues some way or another. Whether you're, a Cub Club, there's no fees, but there is a form, a brochure, a flyer, if you will, that covers specifically, and this is a screenshot of the membership dues flyer, to show you exactly what the cost of the dues are for each membership type. It talks about transfer charter members, family members, Leo Lion members, young adult members, branch members, all kinds of different things are covered here. Any question you get about dues is captured on this one flyer that I just dropped into the chat for you. This is part of the resources, again, we're going to share after we get done with this session in the next couple of days. So you have it all in one spot. So there's no more questions and worrying about trying to find it on the website. You'll have it available to you whenever you need access to it. Dues are a vital part of our association. We're going to talk more about how to recruit people at our next session. But the reality is that because we pay dues, all of our administrative costs are covered. That means that everything we bring in can go to serving the needs in our communities and beyond. What better gift is there than that? All right, we're going to switch gears and actually talk about the first 2 steps and the 4 steps it takes to start a club. And tonight we're covering the first 2 steps. So let's take a look at this. Many of you have seen this over the last couple of years, especially if you've been in the district governor chain of line of succession. The 4 steps to start a new club are this. Number 1, you have to develop a team. Your team is key to the success of everything else that comes from there, because you need fired up lions that are excited and fun, that want to make a difference by starting clubs and by extending Lionism. So develop your team with humans that want to do that. Then you need to worry about identifying the area and focus of where you want to start a club, and do some site research to learn more about that area so that you understand and know what the needs are from afar before you go in and start talking to the people in that town. Next, you need to promote the club and recruit the members. And last but not least, you put an informational and organizational sessions together, and voila, you're ready to start a club. I mentioned earlier, this 4 steps looks super easy, and sometimes it is, but it takes work to start clubs. It takes people who are committed, and those people are you. So let's take a look at these first 2 steps tonight before we move on and go from there. So step 1, you've all developed your teams already, but we go over this because not everyone on this call has been a part of these trainings in the past, and it's a great review for everyone. Who is on your team? The team's made up of a whole bunch of lions. It's not just people with titles. It's a growth team. Key to this team is successful lion recruiters. Finding those people in your district that are the cheerleaders, the evangelists of Lionism, who are bringing in new members already, and recruiting them to your team for the project of starting a club. You need to make sure your district governors and vice district governors are on the team. Quite honestly, the district governor has a lot going on right now. They shouldn't be the one necessarily driving this process unless they want to. I'll assign that to one of your other governors. The first vice district governors are in training, so why not assign it to your second vice district governor? Or in the case of Kentucky, your third vice district governor to drive the process. Get the team going, keep them meeting, keep them fired up, and hold them accountable. Guiding lions. Guiding lions are the most crucial aspect of the assignment to a club that will tell you whether the club is going to succeed or fail. because that guiding lion is the person that's there after your growth team goes away, and they're the ones that are there to get the club going, keep the club going, and answer the questions and get them connected to the organization beyond the club. So finding guiding lions on the front end, making sure they're trained and ready to serve is vital. Your global action team coordinators in your districts, that now includes the global leadership team coordinator, the global membership team coordinator, the global services team coordinator, and the global extension team coordinator, along with your GMA champion and anyone else you've got as part of your global action team. Well, actually, next up, we've got your GMA working group, the global membership approach. Hopefully, you're still utilizing that in your districts to help rejuvenate your current clubs. Zone and region chairs, they're the ones that are going to be supporting the clubs as they move on. And then again, guiding lions. I put that in there twice because guiding lions again are the key to us making sure these clubs that we work so hard to build and give these people the opportunity to serve, that the clubs stick around and are here for as long as they can be, serving the needs of their communities. When you're developing your team, talk to them about what you expect of them. We've got a list here of some of the things you might want them to participate in. Obviously, attend trainings when they can, assist in recruiting assignments, attend the organizational information meetings potentially, and then to support the club in the formation efforts. You may have your own ideas. These are just ideas of who to put on your team and also what you might want them to do. It's up to you as a district to figure out what that means and how does your growth team look? How do they operate? So that's developing your team. Back to guiding lions. I should have warned you, we're going to talk about it again. Guiding lions are the key here. Keeping that club going. You need 2 guiding lions for each club. 2 official guiding lions, more are welcome, but those guiding lions really need to have some expertise before they go in there. Hopefully you have at least one that's gone through the Lions Clubs International Certification Program, so they understand the tools and resources that are available to support that new club. The other that we recommend is an experienced lion in club operations, a club treasurer, a club secretary that's been around the block, someone who's been a zone chair in the past, a past zone chair, a past club president, someone who understands club operations and can help those club officers as they're learning how to operate as a Lions Club. And they are definitely the key to the success of this new club's success or failure. They are the ongoing orientation about the organization beyond the club. They are there to answer questions when they get a message from someone that says they're a zone chair, to explain what a zone chair is, or what a zone meeting is, or whatever it is. They're there to keep everyone informed about upcoming events and trainings beyond their club level, things that can help them connect beyond their club to the rest of the Lions organization. What they are not there to do, and I didn't put it on this slide, but what they are not there to do is squash the club or tell the club how to operate. They are there to support and guide the club with by answering their questions. And they are there for 2 years. And quite honestly, those of you who have been guiding lions know that once you're a guiding lion for a club, once your official duties timeline is up, you are a guiding lion for them for life. So guiding lions are key. As you're working on starting new clubs, it's imperative that you find the right lion to meet the personality or work with the personality of that club. Because again, they're the ones that are going to really determine the success or failure of that club. Yeah, Richard, I was going to bring that up. That's fantastic. There is online, you can go ahead, anyone can go through the Certified Guiding Lion program online on their own. But in October, we're going to be launching a Certified Guiding Lion training through a Google Classroom again. Some of you went through it before. More information to come on that. And by the time we're done with the session, this 6 weeks, we'll have the information for you. What do these teams do? Here's a chart of how you might want to break them out into a lead team, a field team, a ground team, and a response team. But how you break it out depends on the team members you've got, their time, their talent, and what they've got to give. Everyone's role is to participate in the way that they can be the most successful. You really are probably looking at, depending on which system you use, probably 4 to 6 people per new club start to get it going so that things don't get too crazy for everyone. You can go up a lot higher than that, but you're probably looking at 4 to 6 people to really core team to get the job done. Everyone needs to understand the team roles, and everyone needs to hold each other accountable and support each other through this process, especially if it takes longer than you expect to start the club. Some people's times might be limited and someone else may need to pop in and help out. All of you working together is a key to be able to get these clubs formed. So that's a quick overview of the team and what you do as a team. And again, well aware that a number of you have already started working on this and are doing a fantastic job because you've already been meeting with your teams to figure out how to start a new club, and or some of you are already well on the way to starting them, including having started some yet this year. Let's talk a little bit about how we figure out where we're going to start these clubs. And it's something called site research. And determining where you're going to start a club is a key component, not only because you're looking for an area that's going to be able to support a new club, but you also want to make sure it's an area that you're able to, especially getting off the bat, find one that's as easy as possible, that you think is going to start fast, so you can learn together and get fired up, learn the process, get fired up, and go out and keep starting clubs. So things to consider: the population, project possibilities. What other clubs and community groups and organizations are already in the community? Are there people that are not already being recruited? What other clubs are in the area? And if there's underrepresented groups. As you look at the population, and I'm going to talk about a community in a different way. Some of us live in a community that is a small community, that is a community of itself, and you're reaching out to the community as a whole. For those of us in larger urban areas, or if you're looking to start a club in a bigger city, you need to look at a community as more of a neighborhood potentially, or a couple of neighborhoods that come together to work together and have similar interests, and break it down into a smaller population that a Lions Club can serve. Because we cannot be all things to all people. We have to find a way to serve locally and meet those local needs to be successful. If there's anything else that you have as an idea of other site research pieces or things to consider, go ahead and drop that into the chat for us. But I'm going to also show you the next part of it in determining the areas of opportunity. You need to look at the resources in a community, talking to the community and what their needs are. Find out what the community needs are. The government, who's the government? Can you talk to the mayor or the town board or whoever it is and talk to them about where they see the greatest needs? Other service agencies, the food bank, other support agencies that are out there in the community, the United Way. You can do a community needs assessment. You can just go and sit down at the local grocery store and talk to the community and see what their needs are. You can take a look at an app called Nextdoor. Nextdoor is a free application on your phone or on your desktop that allows you to connect with people in your community. Let's say I'm going to start a club in Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm going to be in zip code. I'm going to do my own community because I know my zip codes in Madison, Wisconsin, and we want to start a club in the 53713 zip code. I can pull up Nextdoor and I can look for those neighborhoods, and I can start reaching out via Nextdoor and communicating with them and asking them where they see the needs are and get feedback from them. You can use Wikipedia and the census to be able to find out more about what the composition of the community is. And I'm going to show you that right now because I want you to see what the census has done. The census has now got a fantastic site. Just need to get to it to share it with you. Here we go. Here is the census report for Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I'm going to drop the census app web link here into the chat for you. And this happens to be the one for Bowling Green, so you can actually see this actual one when you get to here. But here's the census report for Bowling Green, Kentucky. It is a complete profile of what they got out of the last census in 2020. It's the population of people, the employment, families and living arrangements, how many households, what the median income is, how many total housing units there are, race and ethnicity, education, health. It goes into everything you can possibly want to know about your own community, including populations and people, income and poverty, education, employment, housing, health, families and living arrangements, race and ethnicity. And it's all available to you free. All you have to do is know your zip code of what you're looking at to be able to pull this information, to understand who your real community is, who the community is as a whole, and help narrow down to who it is you would like to reach out to for your Lions Club. Here's the veterans in Bowling Green. 6.3% of the community in Bowling Green is a veteran. A great possibility for a club. Talks about income and poverty. It goes through all of it. This is a great resource for us to use in trying to figure out who the communities are and potential areas to start a club. I want to share with you something else that to me is even more exciting. Because let me just make sure I've got us all where we're supposed to be here. I'm going to go back to the other screen share for a minute, and then we'll come back to the other piece. All right. So once you've got an idea where you want to go, what geography or zip codes you want to hit, it's time to start talking to those community leaders. Start laying the groundwork, finding out what the community needs are, and inviting them to join this club to make a difference in their community. Mayors and other community leaders, Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, if they've got one. School administrators are a key target market because they're a key potential service project for these clubs. Talk to the superintendent, talk to the school principals, whatever's appropriate, depending on how big of a geography you're working with. Don't forget law enforcement agencies, fire departments, librarian, human service agencies, and other business groups that might be out there. Talk to anyone who will talk to you to find out what the needs are and invite them to be part of this club to help make a difference. And ask them when you're talking to them, who else you should talk to. Start building that list of names of who you might be able to talk to bring to be part of this new Lions Club and to learn more. Additional site research things to consider are this. What are your potential recruiting locations? Where are you going to go to reach these potential Lions? There's a whole laundry list of things here that I'll just touch on a few of them, because the first being libraries. Libraries are an underutilized resource by most of our Lions clubs in our communities. They're a great place for clubs to meet, to start a club out of, to do service projects, any number of things. So talking to and becoming partners with your local library is important. And as you're looking to build a club and you're looking for a place for a club to meet, talking to a local library and the local librarians about if you can use their space for these meetings, for these kickoff meetings, is a really great idea. Veterans meeting locations, churches, community centers, other social and civic groups that might have a building, colleges, local businesses, expos and fairs. Many communities have community gardens or community pickups or a food market, a farmer's market, going to those, putting a table out, talking to people. Another great place and way to recruit is to do a service project in the community you're targeting. Do a children's vision screening or a series of them in the community while you're trying to start the club. Target a park cleanup and invite the whole community to come in to help start clean up this park and make a difference in this park. And then have a small picnic with hot dogs and lemonade and water and tell them a little bit about why you're doing what you do and that you're starting a Lions Club and see if they want to join. There are a ton of recruiting locations in your community or in these new communities. Again, all you have to do is come up with the ideas and start thinking outside of the box of what they might be. If you'd like to drop something in the chat about other ideas, that'd be great. Again, we're capturing all these items out of the chat, and we'll be sharing them out after we get done with all of this. This is all fantastic, but folks, this is all old school. You see, there's a lot of work involved with that, and there's nothing wrong with doing all that work. But I'm about getting from doing the research to getting out there and actually having the conversations. So I'm going to show you something that's going to maybe freak a few of you out, but I'm going to show you what ChatGPT artificial intelligence can do for you and how much quicker you can get going on starting a Lions Club by using ChatGPT. I chose to use ChatGPT to talk about my own community. So first of all, before I get into that, let me just say this. I know that artificial intelligence is very scary for some people, and I get it. I am not suggesting you give ChatGPT or any artificial intelligence package you decide to use your social security number, your bank accounts, or anything like that. All I'm suggesting is that this is a fantastic tool for us to use to better understand our communities faster and use the power of global knowledge to be able to get there and get it done. In less than 5 minutes, I generated what I'm showing you right now. And I'm going to go through the questions I've got here. I am going to share this link with you also in the chat because you should be able to access this. You should be able to access this chat GPT as well, or at least a review of it. So I asked a simple question. We'd like to start a new Lions Club in Dane County, Wisconsin. What are the demographics and opportunities for a specialty club of like people, interests, industries, or groups? It went through and it told me that here's an overview of the potential specialty clubs based on demographics and opportunities. It told me about our population here and our age. It talked about the fact that the median age is 35 to 40 years and a significant proportion of younger adults we're younger because we have the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It talked about our education, our diversity, our economic sectors that are hot, large employers of healthcare, technology and startups, and dairy farming, agriculture. It talked about the fact that they're interested in community engagement, our outdoor activities, environmental conservation, the arts, and social justice. Then it went in and gave me a whole list of potential specialty clubs in Dane County, Wisconsin. The first one it gave me is a young professionals club, an environmental and outdoor enthusiast club, a healthcare club, a cultural heritage club, a university and education club, LGBTQ plus and allies club, tech and innovation club. I'm like, hallelujah, that's fantastic. So I decided, let's see what happens if I ask about the first one they gave me. I said, what steps should we take and who should we talk to reach the young professionals? It then went in and gave me these steps of what I needed to do to be able to reach young professionals. I have to reach and define my target audience. I have to develop a strong value proposition, leverage digital platforms, host networking and social events, collaborate with key organizations, involve existing young Lions, utilize alumni networks, and offer mentorship opportunities. And it gave ideas under each and every one of those. And then, like I said, I asked it to give me key people and organizations that I need to reach out to. It told me for young professionals, the people I need to talk to are Madison Magnet, which is a networking group for young professionals in my community. It talked about Urban League of Greater Madison's young professional group that's already out there. It talked about these different co-working spaces and innovative hubs, the chamber, local employers, and LinkedIn influencers and groups. Then it asked me, would I like to help drafting specific outreach messages or planning an event? And I said, yeah, heck yeah, help me draft a specific outreach message. It created an email or a poster. It creates any of the things I need then with the right messaging or a suggestion of messaging to reach this target audience of young professionals. That looked great. So then I said, can I get more details for a launch event? It created an entire launch event for us, including an event description, the agenda, special features of the event, call to action, event promotion tips, etc. This, my friends, is the future. This is a future we have to get on board with, because the reality is we don't have this, none of us individually and very few of us collectively in our districts have the skill set to pull all of these pieces together and as successfully and easily as pulling this down off of the internet and off of some sort of AI. The reality is this, by doing this, when I did this, it took less than 5 minutes. I could keep asking questions and drilling down for days. And quite honestly, I got lost in that cycle a few weeks back. And I'm like, you just have to stop at a certain point because there's too much information. But the reality is, by utilizing this to begin to start moving forward with what we're doing, We don't have to take weeks to figure stuff out. We can do a simple chat GPT or Gemini or whatever system you're using, chat, bring it to our team, have a conversation, refine it, and make it work for what we need and start implementing immediately. It can be scary, but I hope each and every one of you will at least go to ChatGPT. Gemini is the Google product, by the way. And if you want to try Gemini, if you open a Google Chrome window where you do your searching on the internet, in the top where you type in what you're searching, what the address is, you type in the @ symbol, @Gemini, and it will take you immediately to Gemini, and you can start working in the Gemini software. I've been working in ChatGPT, so it's just my comfort level. Whatever you decide to use, just try it out. Try it with your local community because you know your community. You can see if it's on spot and on point with where it should be, and you can use it to help propel our efforts to propel it to grow Lionism. Okay, there's one of my soapbox issues. You're welcome. I think that's not the first one I got on tonight, but this is really and truly the future of Lions and the future of service and of the world. And we were talking about it at the forum with Daniel Marnie Elkins, did a great presentation on artificial intelligence. If you missed it, hopefully we're going to be able to recapture that in a different way later. But the reality is the service clubs that learn to use AI to advance what they do are going to win the service club war. And there is no real service club war, so let's be real. But if all of us are and have the same problems, whether you're Rotary, Optimus, Kiwanis, Zontas, whatever it might be, everyone's struggling to find volunteers. We can use ChatGPT to hone the right message and reach the right audience. Those people are out there volunteering. They're just not volunteering with us. So why not use the technology out there to help make us more successful? Awesome, Anne. I'm so glad you're trying the ChatGPT with your county. It is an amazing tool. So try it. If you don't like it, I gave you first, and I did this on purpose. I gave you the steps first, the traditional steps we go through. Use them. If that's where your comfort level is and that's what you want to do, go for it. But try this if you can and if you're willing, and see where it takes you. Yep, and you don't even have to copy and paste it in. At the bottom of each one of those questions, there's a little copy button here. Let me show you that. I'm sorry, I got all excited again. You know, I do get that way sometimes. But down here, if you see at the end of this here, there's a little copy button here that you can copy this out and hit click, and it'll automatically copy it for you. You can also, if you want to go ahead and have it refine things, you can ask it to refine. If your sight impaired or you want to have it read aloud, you can hit the read aloud button. All of these things are available through this technology for you to be able to use. So yes, and as you can see over here on the left-hand side of my window, it also saves everything that you do so they can go back to it and access it again. This is for something else I was looking at for a different presentation, and it goes through, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the marketing pieces. So it is definitely something I hope you will all take a look at as a viable option for a way for you to be able to get out there sooner and hone your message to start a club. All right. It looks like we've got a couple of minutes here to take some questions. And I know that my handy dandy pals of Richard and Tracy have been typing like crazy because I can see them every now and again when I come back over here. Is Tracy or Richard, is there anything that you think that we should cover more based on what you've seen going on in the chat? Tracy's shaking her head no. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask in the chat right now? So, because we've got a couple of minutes.
I love that they're not only answering each other's questions, but they're offering to help each other outside of this. So that's awesome.
That's fantastic. All right. While you're thinking of questions, I'm going to keep rolling because I want to share some inspiration with you. We are part of the world's largest service organization. We do not need to reinvent the wheel every time and pretend we're just little islands. Learning from each other, just like you are, and helping and supporting one another, and taking and adapting it to our own local community and whatever our needs are there, is part of the beauty of being Lions. Bringing in someone from outside of your own club to help teach them how to start a club or inspire them is all part of the beauty of being Lions. So we're going to share those types of information or inspiration in each of these sessions. And tonight we're going to start with a pretty cool story. It is a story out of Minnesota, multiple district 5M9. And Jay Norby is the guy you're going to hear talk. He doesn't introduce himself, I don't think, so I'm introducing him for you. Jay has been the GET area leader. He is the multiple district global membership team coordinator, and he's doing GET in his own district. He is a guy that's fired up about starting clubs. Earlier this year, when the targets came down, or earlier this calendar year when the targets came down, he was bemoaning the fact that his was the only district in 5M that had more than one club to start. And he's like, why did they pick on me? I'm like, because you're awesome. And then he went to that summit, and his team went to that summit, and he built his team. And guess what? They upped their number to 6 clubs because they know they can do it, because they've got their team in place. This is Jay's story of building their team and the story of what their team has done since the beginning of this year with starting some new clubs. So I'm going to share my screen again. And here we go. Here comes Jay.
Greeting Lions. We're going to talk tonight about how to build a team. Team, GET, GLT, GMT, GST, they all end with the word team. A team is more than one person. I'm going to give you some examples tonight about how 5M9 has built their global extension team. Now, don't get excited, don't get overwhelmed. On our team, we have 22 members. However, we use the how do you eat an elephant process, one bite at a time. Yes, we have our district governor, our first vice district governor, our second vice district governor, GLT, GMT, GST, GET, GMA are all members of our global extension team. All of our zone chairs are members of our extension team. Along with that, we have 6 people that are dedicated just to the global extension team. Now, when we pick our targets, and yes, we met as a group, our entire GAT team met, and we went through and looked at our targets, and we targeted 10 locations, and then we ranked them 1 through 10. And believe it or not, as we started, number 1 became number 5, and they jump around. This is all, just ideas and suggestions. So we started working. But our members of our GET team, what we told them is that typically they work no more than 45 minutes away from their home. So yes, we took our district, we split it into 4 quadrants, and we picked people in each quadrant that were going to work on clubs or potential clubs in their area. We're not having somebody travel for 2 hours one direction to come and help start a new club. We have people in every area. In fact, last week, we started working on 2 clubs on the same night. We had 3 of our team in one place, we had 4 people in the other place, and we just started talking, we started working, and I don't want to brag, but out of that, we got a new club, and we'll talk about this later as the Join Together Club with 37 new members. And at the other place, we signed up 4 people for this potential new club, plus we have leads for 6 more. And so we're halfway there to starting that club. But when you do this, the big thing is to find people that are willing to do the work. Now, I can look at my team and I will tell you that out of our, what we call our 6 floaters that are not attached to a GST or a zone chair or part of the GAT team, they're all salespeople. They've all had that talent in their lives where they've had to go out and sell. And one of the other things, and probably the most important thing we look at, is their attitude. We have one member who is 84 years old, who could still sell ice cream to an Eskimo in a blizzard. That's how infectious his attitude is, and how when he goes in and starts talking, he is so positive and so upbeat that his age no longer becomes a factor in when we're talking to people. So build your teams, get people, and yes, have a couple of meetings, explain to them what a new club building process is, so that when they're out there and they're talking, provide them with the information you need. We give each one of our team members a sheet of paper. Actually, we give them about 10 copies so they can hand them out. That shows the due structure, what they're going to pay for international dues, what they're going to pay for district dues, what they're going to pay for multiple dues, any other side costs that are incurred for a club when they first start up. For instance, in our multiple, we have a technology fee. Yes, it's $1.49 or something like that. It's not a huge amount of money. We also have the insurance, that we buy extra insurance so they have enough liability insurance to cover what the state of Minnesota asks for, a liability insurance for a group to rent a public building. It covers their bonding. So they know up front. Now, not every district does this, but we take global extension very, very seriously. We have been for the last 10 years. We built into our budget 10 years ago because we got tired of coming to the cabinet and asking for money to pay for the $35 new member fee. We have now budgeted into our district that we pay that $35 new member fee. So that is something that you can talk about, think about, but having that in your toolbox saying that, oh yeah, there's a $35 new member fee, but guess what? We are so enthused. We are so excited about having you become a Lion. We're going to pay that for you. And then always, always, always get the money up front and be perfectly honest with them. Yes, we pay dues. And why do we pay dues? You know, liability insurance is the biggest thing that we use as a selling point. And people really are excited about that. So when we talk about that, we let them know that this is not free, but we are going to help them out. We're going to give them some money, or no, we don't give them, but we pay for their new member fee so that they can go forward and just pay their dues. And we have found that by doing this, people are willing to join. The last thing, and probably the most important thing, is don't assume that the group you're talking to knows what Lions are. Be prepared. Have that hello card in front of you. Pass them out. Get them in their hands so they can see what Lions Club International is all about. Because too often we just assume that people understand or know what Lions are. Even if they know the name, they don't know the brand or what we do. So make sure they understand what and how and what we do to serve our community. And service. You cannot emphasize that enough. We serve. So going forward, I wish you all the luck. I know that if you put your teams together and you go out there and spend a little time, a little effort, that you'll be very successful. Thank you.
Oops, it just decided to, oh yeah, anyways. Let me stop sharing my screen for a second because I want to add a couple things to what Jay just talked about. Jay talked a lot about dues, because dues is something we every time we do a new club development workshop, a growth workshop, we hear about how do you answer the no? How do you talk about dues? How do you answer that no? So Jay gave you a lot of great tips. One of the things he talked about was having some materials that explain what Lions is. Unfortunately, he's right. So many people have no idea who we are unless they've had a personal contact. Even my family, but only half knows beyond my own immediate family. So there's a great, and I shared this with you in the chat earlier, and I'm moving this out of the way here for you, but the Hello brochure is what I'm sharing with you right now. This is a traditional tri-panel trifold, whatever you want to call it, brochure that Lions International created a couple of years ago that is probably the best recruiting tool I've ever received or used from Lions International in the 30 years I've been involved in working on clubs. It starts with hello, get to know the world's largest service organization. This is the first panel, our global causes. And as you're looking at these global causes, it gives you an opportunity to say, here's what we do as an organization. We focus on making life better for diabetics with education and research, all the things we do, and vision and hunger. And you go through those and say, you talk to them about at the same time what their community needs are, explaining how they can get involved and make their club work to serve the needs in their local area and what they're interested in. You use it also as an opportunity to launch the conversation about where they're at or where there's other people that they might know. You know, do you know someone with diabetes? Do you think it's a great opportunity? Where are those needs? Where are those opportunities? It gives you on the back page, the back panel, when it's all folded up, an opportunity to put your name, contact information, etc. By the way, district doesn't mean anything to anybody outside of Lions. That is an internal title, internal word, term. Go ahead and put down what city you live in. That's what's important. They want to know where you're from, not what our Lions internal jargon is. But here's the inside of this brochure. You unfold this thing. By the way, you give this to them as they're walking in, or as you're walking in. Give them a few minutes during the chat as they're opening up and looking through it. Notice what they're noticing. Notice what they're looking at. And in here, it's got a whole section on the benefits of being a Lion. It talks about starting a new club and what we do to start a new club. And then it goes into Lions are ready to help. It talks about the number of years we've served, our number of members, countries, bigger picture of how many clubs there are, and that Lions clubs offer a new opportunity to make a difference. This is specific enough, yet broad enough that if you ask people specifically about what they think the needs are in their community, you can tailor the conversation. You can use this brochure to educate them, but still tailor the conversation to whatever it is they're most interested in. It is a fantastic resource. Again, it is the hello brochure, and I'm terrible with these numbers. It's EX, E is in Edward, X is in xylophone 511 and underscore English. I dropped it in the chat before. It'll be part of what we send back out to you. But if you're looking to get out and get started right now, this is a piece that you should be ordering right now from International, and make sure you have them on hand so they can go out and start having these conversations. Jay, also, just very quickly before I send you in a room to give you some time to work together as a group, as your growth teams. Jay's district right now is working on 3 join together clubs. They know the rules. They know they have to be 501c3s. They understand all of that. Here's the deal. They reached out to their Lion members and said, here's an opportunity. Are there 501c3 charitable organizations in your community that would be served, that being a Lions Club could help? Through the grants, as Tracy mentioned earlier, through the insurance, whatever it might be. They got that information from their members, their members in their district, and they turned around and they used that, and they're in the process of starting 3 new join together clubs right now. One of them that's likely to launch with 75 new members in the next month. This works. This is an opportunity to bring a different type of club in, which fires up our current clubs. It fires up all our members. We get new members and it fires everyone up. We get a different type of club that's doing different things. Our other clubs start to say, hey, we can do that. Blah, blah, blah. We can go help them. We can do this. We can do that. It is an important piece of that we need to take a look at to make sure that we are using these join together clubs appropriately, and make sure that we aren't setting ourselves up for failure by understanding the rules of them on the front side. I just got to note that the hello brochure has been updated. Hey, Tracy, can I get new hello brochures? You're muted, Trace.
It's in translation right now. The reason we're updating it, there's a couple key points, but majority of it is if you notice on the back of it, it does not list all the global causes.
Correct.
Which is a problem because we want everybody to know what we are doing. And I hate advertising something that's not complete or correct. So I'm on it.
Thank you. Tracy does an amazing job with getting us on track and keeping us going and giving us the tools and resources that we need, because without LCI and what our dues pay to get this for us, we would not have any of these resources. And it's remarkable how much she gets done in a day. Well, it's because she works 21 hours a day every day, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so let me talk about something else here for a second. I'm going to send you in a breakout room and give you about 15 minutes to hang out in your districts to work together on this assignment I'm going to give you here in a moment. What we learned in working in Texas and in California is this. By breaking this workshop into a series of 3 sessions, each session giving you one part of the process to work through within 2 weeks as a group, and then come back and report on what you did, and then take the next piece, learn about that and apply that, and et cetera, et cetera. It allowed the districts to learn on the job learning, basically, how to start a club. Hands-on, here you go. So the reality is this process we've seen work, and we've seen the success by starting it started at 14 clubs last year that came after the April sessions got done in California. They've got 5 clubs that are now still carrying over from that, because we're creating a culture of growth, not just worrying about one-off clubs here. So what I've got for you, and let me just get to that screen again, is that I'm going to give you a team assignment here in a moment, and then I'm going to show you what it is that you can use, a resource that our governor teams for sure are aware of, and I hope our GAT teams are as well. Here is the assignment. We'll start with that. Because this session, it was focused on building your team and finding your area, we're taking something that I believe some of your districts have already done and really starting to build out a district club growth plan. What is it you want to do? How many clubs can you handle starting in a year? What's your capacity to support the club? Because again, if you can't support them with the great guiding lions and with your district, they're not going to be here in a couple of years. So what is your district club growth plan? How many clubs can you handle in a year to support? What kind of training is going to be required of your members already, your current members, to let them know what's going on and understand why you're starting clubs? What kind of capacity building do you have? If you're starting a whole bunch of clubs in the same area, is that going to change your zone structure? Do you need to add a whole new zone and another zone chair? Are you starting a lot of virtual clubs? So you have to create a virtual zone because they don't want to come to face-to-face meetings. So you need a virtual zone for virtual zone chairs. What does that mean in your district, depending on what your plan is? Create that plan through June of 2027. It's a 3-year plan, basically. Include in it your potential club list. You heard Jay say they started with a laundry list. They started with 10, and it keeps moving back around as to which one's the priority, because as they go out and talk to communities, they find out things. And sometimes it's going to move a little down. Sometimes it's going to bump it up. Start with ranking them in order of priority of what you know right now, so you can get your team focused on where you want to go. Make sure that you have growth team members that are the support team and also the drivers. Who's actually going to be in charge of getting this club going and getting it started? And who's going to support those people? In Jay's case, he said he's got 6 people in his district that are the drivers in the growth team. Talk about who's going to sponsor this club. Who are the potential sponsors? Talk about if you're looking, if you're looking at starting a club of young professionals, maybe the old club that doesn't want to do anything isn't the best club to sponsor that club. Talk about which clubs you might want to sponsor. Maybe if you don't have a club that you want to sponsor, either the district or the zone can sponsor, or some of you still have regions. Look at who you want to be the potential sponsoring entities of these clubs, and talk about those potential guiding lions. I'm not going to keep lecturing you about that. I'm sorry. It's just one of those soapbox issues that I get on, because I know how important it is, because I've seen it work and do fabulous things. And I've also seen it ruin a community for us for a number of years after the club left. Also, make sure to include in your plan the resources that you're going to need. Again, training. Do you need any grants that you're looking at? Do you need to do a specialty club program training through the specialty club grant program that Tracy was talking about? What type of pieces do you need to be successful to get the job done of starting those clubs? Maybe it's as simple as ordering brochures and new member kits. Maybe it's ordering whatever it is, but make sure that's part of your growth plan. The other key that we found to this is accountability. And it's not that your multiple district people, GAT team members, are overlooking your shoulders and questioning everything you do. It's that they're there to support you and offer additional resources and insight that you may not be aware of because you haven't had access to it. So we're asking that you email a overview of your plan, your club growth plan for now till the June 2027 to your driving force in your multiple district for this growth program. And if you don't know who that is, I got it on the screen for you. In Wisconsin, that's multiple district 27 global extension team coordinator for the multiple, Judy Hatz. Her email is hats@aol.com. And I'll drop these in the chat as well. In Kentucky, it's our friend Noel, who is the multiple district 43 global membership team coordinator, and his email is on the screen as well. These are your primary people that will be supporting you directly. Your frontline support is going to come from both Judy and Noel, and the rest of us supporting you beyond that. So any questions on what we're doing now? Because I got one other thing I'm going to share with you. Tracy, Richard, anything that I need to worry about before I send them off to show them one other piece quick? If not, I'm going to just share one other thing. And the governors and the governor teams for sure are aware of this, but Lions Clubs International has a goals page, which I believe you should be seeing on the screen right now. I am now dropping it in the chat. In the chat, you are going to find the 2025-26 district goals page. And on here, as I scroll down, and this is for the governor to the incoming governors to set up their goals, but important pieces here for you as a team that could help support you in your efforts are your district goals from prior years. You can go and find your current district goals. You can find then drill down and find other goals from prior years and where things are at. You can get resources that include this action plan workbook or booklet, and it gives you an easy way to walk through the process of creating that growth plan we were talking about for your global extension team. So this is just one other place that you might want to use as a resource as you're trying to build your plan. Use it if you'd like. Don't use it. Whatever it takes, whatever works for you, it is an option for you. So any questions on what we're going to be doing while I send you to a breakout room for about 10 minutes? 10 minutes isn't long, especially since some of you have a lot of humans on this call. So before you leave that breakout room, and you're going to get a 1-minute warning, before you leave that breakout room, make sure that you've had time to build a plan of what you're going to do next. What needs to happen next? You need to set up another meeting. If so, try to get that date right now when you've got everyone on the call. Do you just need, are the assignments already there? You can go with it. But make sure that you've got that all set up before you leave that meeting so you're ready to go. Here you go. All right, so I'm going to say that again. You have one human of your team is going to come up on the next call at the front end of the session and share with us what your goal is for clubs, just a quick overview of your goals, your immediate goals, and where you're at with the process, and any challenges or opportunities or tools or resources you need from us to help you get the job done. So be prepared, because each district's getting called on, and I will use a timer and I will cut you off because there's a lot of fun content for the next one. So be ready for 2 minutes. All right. Speaking of our next session, for those of you who know me are going to not be shocked, but it is my favorite session of the group. And that's because we're talking about promotion and how to promote a new club. And we're talking about inviting a new generation and how you invite people to become members. We have some great tools, some great resources, some great input and insight from, as I said at the beginning of the session, the best recruiters we have in Constitutional Area 1, which is the United States. I put the QR code back on the screen, and I hope the QR code is working. I checked it before, but who knows? I copied and pasted it 3 times. So if the QR code's not working, this is the same QR code and the same link we've had for registration since day 1. People can come in and out of these. If you know someone else that would be great at helping you join your team to help promote this new club and help you get the promotional side of things together, or you found that great salesperson, invite them along, have them join the fun, bring them on to our next session and let them learn along with the rest of your team. I want to leave you with one more thing because we're right at 9 o'clock. And that's this. Going back to, oops. Going back to this, what Brian said and what Melvin Jones said. Lion's #1 service is to spread Lionism. If we don't take that as our gospel, if you will, we aren't going to be here, folks. We all come from districts that are struggling. We have districts that are doing well, and they get up at the top and they can't keep the momentum going, and then they drop. We're on this roller coaster. If we create, through the work we're doing now and through spreading this information, this culture of sustainable growth, these people that are excited to be members and want to share it with everyone and say, come join us and have fun because this makes me feel good and it makes a huge difference. That's when we won the game, guys. That's when our clubs are sustainable. That's when we really, really, really have an organization that has the ability and the members to meet their community needs. And that's when the community reaches out to us and they look to us to be the club to meet those needs in the community. It all comes together by one person getting started. I did my part tonight on this section. Now it's up to you, each and every one of you, to take your part and your ball and keep that ball rolling. Be that spark, get the fire spreading, and go from there. I want to thank you for signing up. Thank you
Jody,
here. Thanks for doing all of this stuff. So yes, someone raised their hand or said
yeah,
something.
Jody, I just want to interrupt you for a quick second. On the slide about the email, it said email your plan by 9/15/2024. Is that a typo?
The Monday before the next session is what
The next
it should
section is
say.
9/25.
Okay, yes, Thomas, it is a typo. Those of you who know me, I never get the dates right. So the date is, who's got a calendar in front of them?
9/25's next meeting.
So September 23rd. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Yep.
September 23rd, your reports are due. Excellent. Noel and Judy, I should have offered you to say something as well. Is Judy here? Noel, you got just a minute here. And if you need to go, thank you all. Thank you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Noel, what can we do for you?
I just wanted to announce that today we got notified that 43K, or the multiple 43, got a membership grant for 4,500.
Nice.
Woo-hoo! Fantastic. Congratulations.
Great meeting.
Awesome. Hope you all took at least something out of it. Judy, do you have something you would like to add?
Well, I want to thank you for doing this and getting us kick-started and getting us going on membership. And I agree, if it's up to us and we need to provide the service, so we can do it.
Awesome. Thank you all. Go out and make a difference and stay fired up. No, Terry, you do not need to register for each meeting. One registration covers everything. So the same registration used tonight will cover the next 2 sessions. I also will be sending out a reminder registration email an hour before the next meeting, just like we did tonight.